Good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today is Monday, it's the beginning of the build week, and it is build day, I'm going to say 307. Yeah, let's say it's build day 307. And this morning the landscapers are here. They're going to be finishing off the Zen garden area. We have Ding, he's working on, I don't know what he's working on this morning. Oh, I know what he's working on. He's working on those, the tiling that goes around those footers in the basement room, the extra room that's back over in that corner right there. You see, Kempy is doing the sanding of those dowels of the plugs inside the door jamb for the garage door, doing some sanding there. We have some folks up on the second floor that I just stopped by and I looked to see what they were doing. I think some of the cabinetry work up there, as well as we might be doing. We try to get out of the wind. We have a little bit of a breeze this morning. Let's see, the Sierra on the second floor where they did the finishing. They still don't have two of the granite countertops inside there for the vanity with the tile adhesive yet, but they did the sanding and they did the skim coat and the sanding, and it's ready for its first coat of paint. And they said, what color paint did you want? Originally we were going to do the green, the same green that's inside the master bedroom suite. But I thought, well, if we put it inside there, that's going to be so much green. So I went back and I looked at the original picture that gave us the theme for that area. And it's more of a stone color, like this color right here. So we have additional paint left over from our columns, and we're going to go ahead and paint it that color. I think it'll be fine, but if it's not, the nice thing about that small area, if at any time I decide I don't like the color, or me and Ness decide that we don't like that color, I can get inside there with a paintbrush and we can complete that job. So that's mainly what's going on. Oh, and in the very back, where that mistake was made on Saturday for the railing, the deck railing post in the back, the worker back there is working on the correction for that. So that's where we are today, and wasn't that a great weekend video? I hope you enjoyed the video, the episode of the Fiesta and the Prince and Princess of Charity event that we did on Saturday night. I thought it was a wonderful weekend. Apologize for the late upload, but there was so much going on, and we were into the wee hours of the night, but I thought you would enjoy a combined episode for both of those events, and it seems like from the comments, we were successful with presenting a good weekend episode. So anyway, let's go ahead and get today started. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Here this morning, remember I spoke with my builder on Saturday. Remember that long meeting that we had that took up most of Saturday morning, and one of the topics of conversation was extraction of construction debris. We've had it here for much too long. You remember when we used to have so much of the debris in the backyard, and it was just becoming an unpleasant sight, and it was getting in the way of us doing anything, landscaping, excavation, whatever. So I asked him back then, he was able to get rid of that. And now this is what this vehicle is for. We are starting with, this is excess gravel, I guess. I'm not sure, because we need sifted sand for the driveway. I have to ask about that, but the rest of the stuff, the bags, all this other stuff right here, all that stuff will be removed, and we should have a clean site in the next couple of days, I'm thinking. I'm not sure. Well, we have clarity on the debris over here. This can go, because this is a mixture of sand, rock, and garbage inside here, and soil and things like that. This is clean sand that we have over here. I thought it was sifted from there through the sifter over here, but obviously it is not. We received this sand over here. We received so much supplies here. It's hard for me to keep. They keep a track of everything, where it all comes from. But we have a different vendor that delivers this, and what we will do is we will order clean sand when we are doing the sand for the grass blocks inside the driveway here. Okay, so that's taken care of. We can move on. One of the things our landscapers are doing this morning, they're removing the formwork to the bridge that they constructed here. So you can see them pulling out all the cocoa lumber. They'll remove all of that, and it will just be a nice clean bridge, kind of like you're starting to see right here. One of the items on the agenda for this week that needs to be accomplished, as you see, we installed all the interior lights for the fence line. We still have to do the exterior, and we can't do the exterior until they have been selected. So this week I have to make a commitment, either Batanga City, Alabang, or let's say Santa Rosa. One of those places we have to go, and we have to pick out some lamps for the outside of the fence. Okay, can I tell a story here? I want to tell a story to the folks on our channel. Okay, is it okay, Apple? Give me a break, right? Well, anyway, I want to talk to you. It's a serious topic too, and it's something I didn't understand when I first came to the Philippines, but I'm getting a better understanding and a better grasp of how things work, and it has to do with contracts. Case in point, we've had some issues with our contracts and different contracts, but the one I want to talk about today is our landscaping. Excuse me. Okay, well, excuse me for that. That's actually a visitor. We have a visitor tomorrow coming in from New York. He's down in San Juan right now, and he wanted to coordinate a visit here to visit us here at Villa Feliz, like a lot of our subscribers do. So we'll have a visitor for tomorrow. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about contracts, and we were talking about our current contract for the landscaper. And what I was trying to get at, when the contracts that they do in the Philippines, well, mainly services, installation of services, installation of materials inside your house, such as our windows, our doors, even our house build. You have a schedule of different types of payments that you have along the way. And the terms of the payments they vary. It could be you start out with a 10% down payment, it's like a deposit, and then you do 40% and then 50% at the conclusion of the installation, or it could be, there's so many different types of variations that they have out there. And the reason that they do that, it's mainly for the consumer. In the U.S., normally when you pay for a service, most of the time, not always, sometimes you have a contract where you pay so much at the beginning and so much at the end, but a lot of places in the U.S., you pay 100% up front, then they come and they do the install. And I think it's possible because of the legal system that we have in the United States is set up such that you have recourse in the event that you have an issue, you don't get the services that were promised. As long as you have a contract, a binding contract, normally you have that binding contract is firm inside a court of law. Most of the time you don't have to do that because people know the consequences, the people who sell you a product, and they want to give you the best thing possible, so they follow through with the sale. But in the Philippines, I think I don't know because I haven't had the experience, and I hope I don't have to have the experience. But it seems like over here there is a your buffer, let's say, your guarantee is that you hold out a certain amount until the very end after everything is done, and then you're satisfied, and then you make a payment. So what happens sometimes over here is the service or the company that you're having an installation done, such as our landscaping today, they will say at a certain point, instead of giving us the last 10% at the end once everything is done and said, they'll ask for the money ahead of time. And then we've had that with a couple of our vendors here. When that happens, you should question what's going on. It's your right to question. The wind is picking up. Here, I'll try to shield you from some of the wind that's coming from the south on here. Case in point, and I'm going to give you a little bit of our shared experience right here. Our landscapers came in, and you know, I wasn't going to do any landscaping. I wasn't going to have anybody come in and do it. I was going to do all the landscaping myself. But the excavation and moving the soil, you see it's taken them a couple of weeks just to move soil around and get everything level. So I thought, well, maybe it's a good idea to do that. So I'm saving a lot of the trees and the shrubs for myself, because that's fun things that I like to do. But we went ahead and said, well, we're going to put down some topsoil. And the topsoil that we want to put down is to prevent erosion and things like that. So Ness hired a local company here. She interviewed them. Well, we both kind of interviewed them, but she was the main driving on it. And she liked, it's a family-owned and operated kind of business. And we sat down and we spoke with the nephew. And let me show you what we spoke with the nephew when we first came in. This is what we arranged. This is kind of like, I don't know if you can see, hopefully I don't know what the lighting is like out here, but this is our house. And this is our front yard. This is Zen garden she wants in, the driveway, our backyard, and the Baje Kubo area here. So you see all these lines on here. This is what we negotiated with the nephew of the landscape company that's here. What we wanted done, grass. We wanted sod down. We wanted bluegrass done. So you can see all around the Baje Kubo, all the way up to the driveway, all around the back side of the house, that small patch back there on the east side, and all in the front yard up here, minus the landscaping that needs to be done for the Zen garden up here. Nothing for the driveway, nothing for the grass blocks inside here or in the sidewalk, nothing for where the coconut tree is, nothing along this side by the fence, which is right up here. So we defined everything we wanted. Then we negotiated a price. Then a contract came in. They came out and they did measurements, and they came in with a price. And regardless of whether we thought the price was high or low, or a good price, we believed in the integrity of the company that we were dealing with. So we went ahead and we signed the contract. And in the contract it says they're going to lay so many square meters of sod and things like that. But we didn't do the measurement. They did the measurements. So now, once that was accomplished, they laid the sod. Then when they laid the sod and they completed my section, which is basically the backyard, this part of the yard, and the grass in the front, this is supposed to be necessary, just the Zen garden up in the front. Well, they didn't do any area here. They didn't do anything around the Baje Kubo, and yeah, so it was a lot that was not completed. So we're like, where's the rest of the sod? And they're like, oh, that wasn't inside the contract. The contract said only X amount of square meters. And there's where the confusion is. Whose responsibility is it to do the actual measurements and then say, this is, when we measured it, this was the area that was covered? Well, I defined, I wanted this area done, and this area around the Baje Kubo. They did the measurements and they said that was going to be enough to do that area. Well, after this first round, then they came back and they said to us that, oh, you dealt with our nephew. It was the nephew that dealt with, not his aunt. And I'm like, well, it's a family. All assumptions should be, and we know what happens when you assume. But the assumption was that when you discuss with one person of the family, it's a family-owned, operated business. You're going to get what you were defined inside your contract in your talks. So anyway, there was a problem. So we did some renegotiation. We shouldn't have had to, but we did some renegotiation. This is because we hadn't done a negotiation yet for Ness's Zen garden. So what Ness ended up doing, Ness ended up paying for her Zen garden, but she also ended up paying for the front yard as well. And when she did that, we said we have to finish up everything that we defined on here. We showed them this sheet again, and this was with the ant. So you would think that once we have all the misunderstandings clarified and everything is back to normal again, front yard, side yard, backyard, Baje Kubo, Zen garden, you would think we have nothing. So we went ahead and put another down payment down. I ended up I paid 100% when the job wasn't complete. That was my mistake right there. I went ahead and paid that last 10% that shows you, and I'll show you the contract where it shows what our responsibility is. But they asked for the additional, that 10%, even though the job wasn't completed. And I did. I went ahead and paid it because I believed in the integrity of this family. So we pressed on. So now we're coming to the conclusion, and they're telling us they're about done. And so I went around and I looked around the house, and this whole area, there was nothing done on this area. And around the Baje Kubo, let me show you the back of the Baje Kubo, what I'm talking about. I didn't realize that because when you look at the front, it looks like it's done. But when you go to the back of the Baje Kubo, there is nothing done back here in this area right here. They got to a certain point, they ran out of sod, and then this part, none of this is completed, which is of course inside our definition of our contract. And also on the back side of the house, let's go back over here. So what we are doing now, we are actually putting in some sod back here. This was actually sod that was complimentary put inside the walkway. You know, the grass blocks out there it was a complimentary kind of thing. But since they ran short, they're pulling it from that area, and they are moving some of that sod back here. We'll look at the spacing back here, but it's probably not going to be as tight as the spacing that you see over on this side right here. So we'll see at the end of the day. I am not going to hold judgment until the job is done. But this is what I am talking about when you are negotiating a contract, and why they do things like this in the Philippines. The tip of the day: do not go ahead and pay the last payment until you get what you are satisfied with and what you had negotiated inside your contract. Make sure that all of the terms of the contract are fulfilled and you are happy with the results. My tip of the day. Okay, so over my shoulder here, Ness finally has her Zen garden.
I have my bridge. Anybody who crosses is to solve a puzzle.
Well, anyway, it is that time of day again, and it's the time of day for some shout-outs. And for February 12th, we have several shout-outs, and they are both anniversary and birthday shout-outs for today. And our first shout-out for the day is an anniversary shout-out, and it is from Alan Ray and his wife Grace. Alan is from Australia, and his wife Grace is from the Philippines. Anyway, they are celebrating their 27th wedding anniversary. So to the two of you, we want to wish you a happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
And we also have a couple of birthday shout-outs for today. And the birthday shout-outs, I said a couple, but when I mean a couple, you're going to see what I mean. The second one is a couple times exponential numbers and stuff like that, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But the first one is for Mary Joy Carey, and she goes by the nickname of MJ, and she is turning 36 today. She and her husband are now living in Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States. So anyway, MJ, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
And our second to the 10th power birthday shout out goes to one of our longtime subscribers. And I know if you read our comments on a daily basis, you will know she is on there almost every day. Anyway, it is from Winky's family. Anyway, Winky has, for February 12th, he has family members who are having same day. Well, it was kind of noisy, so we had to stop for a minute while the drill was running. But let's go ahead and talk about Winky's same day birthdays. Anyway, this February 12th is for her eldest daughter, and her eldest daughter's name is Chrissy Aquino McLott, and she's an RN at Edinburgh's Hospital in the United Kingdom. And anyway, she is turning 26. And also Winky's fourth daughter, and you have to have an encyclopedia to read this name, and the name goes as follows: Aleka, Bianca, Adarna, Texan. Texan? Did I say that right? I think I said it right, Texan. And she's currently studying in Manila at Edinburgh, and she's also turning 22. And of course, last but not least, Winky herself. She is turning, she's turning 51 today. And everybody is turning different ages on the same day, on February 12th. So anyway, to the three of you, we want to wish you
Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Winky!
So trying to take advantage of the lull in between the breezes blowing out. It's actually a really nice day today out here. The temperature is great. We have this light and sometimes a brisky breeze that comes along, but it's actually really nice. So anyway, today we're going to do a wrap up. Today, this is what was accomplished. The Nessa's Zen Garden. I think everything's in place. Everything's in place right now, right? This is it? This is it. So I think she has everything that she wanted. And you see today, they did some more pebble work. She asked for the pebbles to go further underneath, and they did the stonework, the slate work to do the border that kind of defines the bridge. But most of this was you can thank Ness. She did a lot of the design. But her design was based on lots of pictures and a lot of research that she did from other Zen gardens.
I lived in Japan for so long.
And she lived in Japan for so long. She knows what Zen. She is the Zen garden guru.
No. This is a family. The father, the mother, and the child.
Father, mother, and
and they're
child.
all looking at the house.
Yeah.
Seems to guide the house, guard the house. Yeah. And the rocks symbolize the water under the bridge.
Water under the bridge.
Yes.
And what about the boulders?
The boulders, they're like
They just look cool. Come
no,
on.
they're like people too.
They're kind of like people.
Souls.
They're
Yeah.
like souls in the
Souls,
background. And then what about we had, like the bonsai trees inside there? It really is
It's a little earth.
a little earth. I like that. I like that phrasing, a little earth. But anyway, I think it looks great. The yard, some sod work done here. We ran short. I don't know what's going on with the sod. I don't know if they're coming back tomorrow. But this whole area had no sod. This was in our contract. This was all supposed to be sodded back here. And also behind our Bahay Kubo, we had contracted also. Our complete contract is all sod everywhere around the yard, except for this area where it's not supposed to be, and also on the side of the house over there. So anyway, in the yard, some sod work got done. Let's go. The front of the house is starting to get the deck rails on the front. Our carpenter over here, he worked in the back all day long, fixing that mistake, let me put it that way. That was for the deck railing that was going down the stairway. I think most of that's in place. Let's go back there and kind of take a look. I think all the concrete is curing right now inside the post material. I know it looks like kind of like a mess, like a maze or a Lego gone wrong or something like that. But this is the correction for the mistake. And I think the big mistake was not so much, I don't remember where the mistake was. I asked my builder when he came, I said, they didn't tell me where they just said it was short. And he said it was either 5, I think he said it was 10 centimeters, and I think it was on these posts right here and these right here. It has something to do with, I don't know. All I know, he said 10 centimeters, and 10 centimeters is a lot to be short. So I think that's where they were doing the correction here. Let's go inside the house and see what was completed inside the house today. So early this morning, the cabinet doors, I think all the cabinet doors are in place. I have to go, this week, I have to, along with all the lights I need to get the hardware, the cabinet door hardware, all the handles for all the doors here, inside the laundry room, upstairs for the breakfast nook. I think that's about it. But you see, this is all complete. I did a wipe down. The equipment is up and running, and it does not feel hot at all inside here. That's good, because these really don't generate. The only thing that generates heat is this little HDMI. The little HDMI converter inside there. I think it's a little bit warm. Everything else looks good, and so we're good there. Everything's in place. Let's go upstairs and see what happened upstairs. Hey, sleepyhead. So today, as we're going up the step, you see the attention to detail today on this decking area on the platform was the half post and the half post over there. I kind of wish what they would have done. Let me see if I have some lights on up here. I kind of wish what they would have done would have filled this in first, finished behind it, had everything completed, and then put the half rail on. I really like that. I don't like when they put wet cement or mortar mix behind wood, because you know the wood absorbs it. We had that problem, and it takes them forever to sand it out. They should have waited one more day on this one, but they didn't. And you can already see, it's absorbing the water, for the moisture from the concrete mix inside there. Well, the anchor is beyond the point where the mortar mix is, so it's going to end up encasing the bolt that's inside there, but I guess that'll be okay. So this one was done over here. They had to pull these joints apart. Inside here is all bolts that connect these together. There's a bolt on this side that bolts this side together. But it is really, really strong, so I'm real happy about that. One thing I wasn't happy about, and I spoke with my my carpenter like 2 days ago, 3 days, the day that I did the half post, and I said, please, Mr. Carpenter. And I said, I don't call him Mr. Carpenter. It's actually my foreman, Kempy. I said, Kempy, please do me a favor. Whatever you do not cut anything out of this half post. Because I asked him how he was going to do this post with the shoe molding here. And he said he was going to cut this out in the post. I said, no, please do not cut the post. I said, cut the shoe molding, set it inside there at a 90-degree angle. This way, if we ever have to replace the shoe molding, it doesn't go through the center. And look what happened. I don't know. I kind of went ballistic today on that. Well, not really ballistic, but kind of ballistic, kind of quiet ballistic. And I said, I didn't, and my builder was here. I said, I asked them, please don't do that. But what they're going to do, they're going to finish up around here. They're going to make it look, they will make it look like it's one piece all the way through. But it would have been so simple to take a chisel out the shoe molding inside there on both sides, and it would have looked very nice, and it will look very professional, like the base of this half post over here. It is what it is, It is what it is. Let's see what happened inside the master bedroom and the CR up here. Some painting. This is the final color right here that we're going to do underneath the vanity. I like it. I think it's going to work real good. Just imagine this. Just imagine this color and dark brown, very dark brown shutter doors on here with lattice board on here, two here with some drawers here and like that. I think that'll look really good. One of the things I have to pick up this week, along with the other hardware that I was talking about, and the lights are in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we will do a road trip one day this week to pick up some lights. My builder has the funds. That was one of the things I did at the bank the other day, so that he can make sure he gets the tiling for this entire room right here. All we have right now is the mosaic tile for the floor, and our drain is in place. So we'll be working on that shortly. And back here inside the master bedroom, and our pink cabinetry is not so pink anymore. It's kind of looking like that area up there. So we are getting closer. I don't know what else they have to do. Usually they spray it several times, they sand it several times, but I know it's not finished. I can tell that this does not look like this up here right now. So they still have a little bit of work to do on that. Also today, work on the French doors up here. You would not believe how good this feels. Oh, very, very nice. I be honest with you, it looks and feels like it's done. I don't know. They go through so many different phases of sanding and finishing, and so I don't know where they are, but it looks almost done. And that looks really good. So the French doors, and one of the things I want to get rid of this pink beam. I'm starting to dig it, but that's scaring me. So I want them to get rid of this pink beam and go to the color which is going to be like the color of this wood grain here, or like the fascia on the outside of the house. That's what that's going to look like right there. I asked we asked our painter this morning. We said, when are we going to go away from this pinkness here? And he said, first of all, they're going to finish up the rails on the top, the guardrails and the posts, and I think the posts here. It's a progress. It's a strategic type of a plan that they have to do something ahead of the other one so they don't get some debris or paint or something on the other one. So, what is today? Today is Monday? I'm going to say Thursday. We'll see. And last, I'm not going to say, but not least, because it's kind of it's like a minor thing, but remember yesterday or Saturday, this part, I think it was this section of this footer tile was in. Well, today, 8 hours later, these tiles here, and a couple little pieces there. So that is 8 hours. Oh, I'm so excited. I forgot about one thing. You did not come with, I did not take you with me today to the carpenter shop. I went to the carpenter shop and picked up our platform. Remember all the 8 pieces of mahogany, 1 3/4 inch decking that we're using for that platform for the first floor to second floor, the two platforms inside there. Well, they're done. You see, and I received them back. I want to show you. So there, let's see, where is it? There's 1 section, 2 sections. So this is their connection right here. It's not as tight as the factory's. This is the factory. This is theirs. Again, let's go to the other side. Factory, theirs. But it still looks pretty good. And they used biscuits inside there, and they did a very good job. They used wood clamps, and what they did, they showed me. Remember when I told you about the strength of wood glues and epoxy glues that they use? So what they did, they ran a test, and remember I told you which is stronger, the glue connection, the adhesion, or the wood itself? And they took in front of me. They took a piece of wood that was cut off, and they bent it, and it did not break on the glue joint. It did not break on the glue joint. It broke inside the wood. So that shows you that the epoxy bond is stronger than the wood, and that's what we're looking for, and we don't want any gaps or anything. And those biscuits that are inside there are going to keep the wood from separating as it dries later on over the years, and it should stay nice and tight the way it was the day it was installed. So again, I have 2, the one on the bottom and the one on the top, and these are for our 2 platforms. And I suspect, I'm not going to give a date because our Tyler that spent 8 hours on the footer over there, he's the guy who's going to do it. So who knows when that's going to get done. So anyway, let's go ahead and close for today. We're in a non-breezy area, so this the basement is a great place to close. So tomorrow is Tuesday, and Tuesday is no landscapers here tomorrow. From what I understand, our landscapers are supposed to be holding to their commitment to complete putting the sod in around the Bahay Kubo and on the east side of the house, that small area right there. And not from pulling sod from the corner of my yard where they already laid sod like they kind of did today. I'm going to make them put that sod back. So they won't be here tomorrow, but our carpenters will be here, our tile people will be here, we'll be here. And we have a guest. We have a guest from New York coming tomorrow. Did I tell you about that? I didn't tell you about that. Okay, so we have a guest. We have a guest coming from,
Okay.
and so that'll be a surprise. You know, we always like guests here at Feliz. So when we close for today, so we can start editing this and get this out to you at a normal time. So if you enjoyed today's video, please give us a thumbs up. Please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on the little My PI Dream heart in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed, and you'll be notified the next time we upload a new video. So until tomorrow, you have a wonderful and blessed day.